Well, it's Monday, and that must mean it's time for Rick Corey Sports Special and Bixby. Loren Montgomery joins us now. No, he's not being questioned by the cops. This is just his new office, and you were telling me you've got some stuff on the way to fancy things up.
Yeah, so we've been in our new facility, but the last piece are the facility graphics and pictures and things like that. And so they're scheduled to be installed here before the end of the month. So we're anxiously waiting that, but happy to be in a new facility and state of the art and what we think is probably the best facility in the country.
I can't wait to see what you put on the walls back there. In the meantime, it does look like you're being questioned. So I'll just start that, right? I'll start with the questions. And the first one is, how did you find any coaching points? You went 85 to 24. I mean, I'm sure you did, but that's the most points scored in the history of the school. That's got to feel pretty good.
Well, I think the big thing is we didn't play very good defense, and give Edmond North credit. They've got a very slippery sophomore quarterback. He's a starting point guard, and he was able to scramble and keep plays alive, and then hit receivers down the field, and then we would also get turned around and interfere, and just really didn't play very good early on, and so. In the first half, the game was, at times pretty close. And so we had to keep scoring. And then in the second half, they were trying to throw the ball every snap and had an interception, had a pick six, tried an onside kick that we recovered and took back to the house. And so things kind of escalated quickly in the second half. Certainly we don't want to score that many points, but it was kind of a situation early. It was back and forth and scoring just as quickly as we could. And then, there towards the end of the game, it kind of started to separate itself just a little bit. But yeah, we got a lot of things to work on as far as being a disciplined team. When we call pressures, we have to know, where to fit on the back end and some different things like that. And so, Coach Flowers, our defense coordinator, has been a little bit upset, but I think it's also part of growing pains. I'm glad we were exposed in some areas, here in week 6, as opposed to once we get into the playoffs.
You've had such veteran teams. I mean, there's always guys coming along, but as you said before, they're all part of the progress and what you do in the younger grades. But you've had such veteran teams. When you have kind of these younger kid mistakes this late in the year, is it still on schedule for you from when you've seen players of this age? Are they advancing in the way you want them to?
Yeah, I think our group is getting better each week. To be honest with you, that's the first time that we've faced a quarterback that mobile. He's a pretty dynamic guy, and so that in and of itself is the first time that many of our guys have experienced that. And don't get me wrong, it wasn't terrible, and we made some good plays, completely stuffed the run, which is what we want to do and make a team one dimensional. But certainly we don't want to give up 300 yards through the air.
Yeah, minus 4 yards rushing, as a matter of fact, on the night for Edmond North. Chauncey Cravens, by the way, is the quarterback that coach is talking about, who is a fantastic player. But your guy wasn't bad. 19 of 23 for what, 231 and a couple of like 5 touchdowns?
Yeah, I felt like we were pretty efficient offensively. We were able to run the ball. We were able to take some shots. We actually hit on two different flea flicker type passes, on some deep balls to Blake Hogshooter, and did some things well. Got the ball in Braden Presley's hands, which we want to do, and spread the ball around pretty well. And so did some good things offensively. Did some good things on special teams as well.
We're talking to Loren Montgomery. He's the head coach at Bixby on the Rick Corey Sports Special, sponsored by Sunrise Cafe at 100 Sheridan in Tulsa. I'll tell you more about them in a little bit. It was 13 to 10 at the end of the first. So to your point about, you don't really want to score that many points, but it kind of rolls up. At 13 to 10, what were they doing well? What did you do to kind of turn it on?
Well, I think, like I said, they were able to throw the ball down the field, and we were extending drives with some penalties and those things, which you can never do. And but at the same time, I thought offensively, as soon as we got the ball, we were scoring quickly. We were being efficient. For the most part, we did make some mistakes. And I think maybe a little bit as a result of penalties or maybe trying to force some things that weren't there. But no, we did some good things. Anytime you put up that many points, it's something you can be pleased with.
Yeah, well, you go from 13-10, like what, a minute later, it's 28 to 10. So what happened in that sequence?
Well, score and then a pick six, and then score again. So, things can escalate quickly. Fortunately, our offense can be a quick strike offense. We can tempo and move the ball pretty quickly.
So we're talking to Loren Montgomery from Bixby, and this is sponsored by Sunrise Cafe. Hunter Randy Robbins and his guys out at 101st and Sheridan. And if you've not tried it, you absolutely must do that. They're open until 2:30 every day. It's a breakfast diner type place. But I wanted to tell you today about one of my favorite things there, which I bet you haven't heard about this in forever. Turkey tetrazzini. You remember turkey tetrazzini? See, they had not. Yeah, the guys my age will remember it, and you're younger than me, but you don't find that anymore. And Randy reintroduced it at Sunrise Cafe, and I had it. It was about a month ago. So imagine the best pasta, and then imagine a nice little white sauce, which I know we're not supposed to have, but every now and then, and then the peas and the carrots and all that, and the turkey in there. Telling you, his breakfast is fantastic. I told you about the Oki omelet. I was blown away by this thing. They have specials. They have a giant coffee bar. If you're a coffee fanatic, they've got it all. And yeah, you can even get yourself a mimosa in there on a Sunday morning if your team didn't win to get over it. 101st and Sheridan, it is Randy Robbins and the great folks at Sunrise Cafe, and thanks for sponsoring, Loren. All right, so here we are. We talk about it every week, but my God, how did we get 7, 8 weeks into the season, right? You're really trying to ramp up. You're trying to get to the right things at the right time. What are your next steps from your standpoint? What do you want to continue building?
Well, our group needs to continue to be a great practice team and learn how to focus. We play our best football, and it's no coincidence when we practice extremely well and then we're focused for 4 quarters during the game. And it's easy to say, it's more challenging to do with all the distractions. For instance, this week is a fall break, play on Thursday, which is out of your routine. We're traveling to Enid. Typically, fall break crowds are not great because a lot of the students are on trips or whatnot. And so, for us, it's practicing well and then going and focusing in an environment that we don't really know what it's going to look like. Will there be a good crowd there? Will there not be a good crowd? Will it be electric? Will it not be electric? And none of that really matters. But each play, our guys have to focus, know their responsibilities, and know their keys and what they're looking for, and then let it go and play fast.
Couple of things about them. Number one, they're just good enough to be scary. When you see them initially on film, what do you see them doing well?
Well, they play excellent defense, and they're somewhat unorthodox on defense. Some of the I call it the Stillwater defense that we've seen over the last few years with guys twisting and moving around and being in a prowl type technique, standing up. It's something that's a little bit unorthodox that your guys have to be prepared for, and so they kind of play a bend but don't break defense. They play a soft shell coverage in the back end and try to tackle you for a loss and cause some confusion up front. And then offensively, very sound, do some good things, run the football well, have a big offensive line that they like to grind on you somewhat.
Those are tough trips. It's a long way out there. I mean, and it seems, I don't know, you remember once you get past, about the Stillwater exit, it's pretty much like you're just driving to the middle of nothing. I mean, it's been a long time for me to go out there, but it's been a while. It is a longer trip. Do you change anything for that? When do you guys have to leave?
It's pretty similar to the other trips that we've had down to Moore. Moore is close to 2 hours.
Yeah.
Choctaw is close to 2 hours. So we've had a couple of road trips. This one maybe is about a 10-minute longer drive for us. And the only thing that changes for us is it's fall break, so we're out of school on Thursday. So what we do in those situations, we typically do a walkthrough each game day when we get our kids after school. But in this situation, since they're not going to school, we'll get them up in the morning and we'll do a walkthrough and feed them at 9 o'clock, send them home, give them a little bit of time, and then the buses will roll, I think, at about 2:10.
Gotcha. Right. How do you handle the weekend after that, after when you played a Thursday game?
Well, so of course we'll be out of school on Friday, and so we'll bring our kids up and treat it just like Saturday. Our training room opens at 8. We lift at 9. Our JV goes to film at 9. We play 2 JV games, and so JV red will be on offense, JV blue will be on defense. We'll switch those guys, and then the varsity guys will finish in the weight room, and the JV guys go to the weight room, and the varsity guys go to film. And so we'll be up there for a few hours on Friday. We'll cut the guys loose and they'll have Friday afternoon, Saturday, and Sunday off, and then Monday we will be back. And I think actually Monday is out of routine day as well. It's a professional development day, so that schedule will look a little different as well.
Does that really throw monkey wrenches in, or do you guys, your kids, do a pretty good job of it, just adapting and going through it?
They do a pretty good job with it. I think as coaches, it's probably a little bit more challenging
Yeah.
because especially on a professional development day, we still have JV games, we still have to practice, but then there's professional development that the coaches are expected to be at that's out that looks different than their normal scheduled first hour to fifth hour day. And so getting with administrators and making sure that we're making all of them happy, making all the principals happy, and attending the things that we need, yet still getting in the practice and the weight sessions and the film sessions and everything that we need to get in order to be successful on the field Friday night.
But and we are creatures of habit, right? I mean, we like the same things, and coaches talk about a rhythm of the season. When you start changing that and moving it around, even though it's a minor irritant, you're just looking to get on the field that day, right?
Absolutely, absolutely, and we're used to some minor changes. You know, depending on who we play, JV games, we may have to flip Monday's schedule so that the JV can leave a little bit earlier or whatnot. And so we're used to some minor changes, but just a lot of variables when you're talking about a team of 123 guys and a staff of 12 varsity coaches, and then also the eighth and ninth grade guys have to schedule practice around that as well. So we're excited about it, and fall break's always a good time, and it's fall in the air right now. As a matter of fact, it feels great outside.
It does. Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, and there is a little extra pep in the step when you drop 20 degrees, isn't there?
Absolutely. It just absolutely feels great. And I think one morning this week, when our eighth grade's out there practicing, it's going to be 39 degrees.
Oh man, that is offensive lineman weather. You're touching my heart right there. I'm liking that. I got to ask you though, do you know what's going to be on some of your walls? Can you describe what you're going to have back there?
Yeah, on this wall, we'll have our core values and meshed in with some pictures. So, some photos from over the years. One of the things that we did with the architects is we went through and they wanted, in fact, for this wall, 16 different pictures from, and they put them on pictures where you can reverse them and change them
Right.
out periodically. And there's something else on the backside, but so I picked 16 different big plays or big moments from over our tenure here at Bixby the last 15 years. And ironically enough, there's a picture of us. One of our biggest wins my first year was out in Enid in 2010, and we were behind, I think maybe by 17 points at halftime. We end up coming back and winning and recover two onside kicks and complete a reverse pass. And so one of those plays is one of the photos that'll be up there. And so we have pictures of different big plays. Our kids making big plays over the years, and so they'll be intertwined in there with our core values here in my office.
Oh, that is cool. Everybody's going to want to, you know what, you could charge. We could have some people coming through, make a little cash on the side. What do you think?
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Loren, good luck. Drive safe. I mean, I know it really isn't as far as I'm making it sound like, but I always, for some reason, hated that drive. Be careful out there. Keep everybody healthy, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right. Thanks, Rick.